Thank you so much for the most humble introduction. It's my absolute pleasure to be a part of TED and such a wonderful audience. Let me ask you all something. Have you ever seen a bride walk into the room and everything suddenly comes to a standstill? The conversations pause, the music fades away, and time kind of holds its breath. It's not the outfit, but the feeling behind wearing it. The moment of joy, tradition, and thousands of stitches is what I live for. I'm Priyanka Singh, a bridal fashion designer based out of Delhi. Every day, I work with brides who have dreams in their eyes and with artisans whose hands hold generations of stories. Because in India, a wedding is just not an event, but a legacy to display. At the center of that legacy is a handcrafted masterpiece, not made by machine, but shaped by memories, by emotions, and by hands that a very few see. Today, I want to take you behind the scenes to show you how a bridal lehenga becomes a living story. We often think of a bridal outfit as something glamorous, opulent, a showstopper meant to dazzle. But what if I told you the true magic doesn't lie in the shimmer, but in its soul? When I sit down with my brides, my belief gets all the more stronger that it's not only the dream of the bride, but the most important person is the mother who's dreamt of her daughter to dress in a particular way for her special day. A daughter inherits all the emotions of her mother and carries this legacy forward. Behind every masterpiece is the hands of artisans, weavers, printers, dyers, designers, an entire team whose work sometimes just goes unnoticed. You know, where's the first place that I actually think of a design? It's my core. It's my instinct. Because without my core and without my instinct, I cannot make anything happen. Every creation is first created in my core and then sent to my mind, which helps me bring that design into reality. Every minute detailing, such as the color, the aesthetic, the dreams of the family, the vibe, if the wedding is a destination wedding, if it's in the outskirts, everything is translated into the form of a mood board. And above all, it's the family which gives me the motivation to make that mood board even stronger and create a beautiful attire. After the mood board is created, a plan is made where it's decided to gather fabrics and various other resources to make this beautiful masterpiece happen. A rough draft is created, and then starts the work of craftsmanship. That is the place where the actual magic takes place. Ultimately, the masterpiece is created and is ready to be worn by our beautiful bride. Every bridal outfit and every bride that I work with is a different project altogether. Not so long ago, an average bride was in her early 20s. I think all of you would agree to that. And at that point of time, marriage was their first important major decision that they took in their lives. Now, it's made all of the differences happen now. In a decade, we are seeing that women want to get married in their early 30s. A bride in her early 30s has lived a little more. She's traveled, she's independent. She makes her choices. Hence, when she decides to get married, it's out of self-awareness, but not due to societal expectations. You must be wondering that how does this make her say yes to her perfect bridal outfit? It definitely does, as she's asking, who made it? How was it made? Does this have a repurpose? Does it reflect my individuality? And most importantly, my heritage? For her, the bridal look is not just about impressing everybody, but about expressing her story. As a designer, it's a big responsibility in helping her outfit tell her story. Today, the world is facing various environmental changes. And if we don't give our ears to the sound of the upcoming storm, we may perish. A single bridal outfit worn once may take hundreds of hours to be made, but if not thoughtfully crafted, may take years and centuries to decompose. As designers, we not only carry the weight of beauty, but also the burden of responsibility. That's why, for me, crafting conscious couture is not only about honoring our artisans, but about taking care of our dearest Mother Earth. The question is, how do we do this? Very simple. Please do not blindly follow trends, Pinterest, keep swiping up. We don't need to do all of that. Invest in pieces which matter to you. When I sit down with a bride, I do tell her that please take one Kanjivaram or a Banarsi in your trousseau, because that is something which your daughter will value it later. Encourage natural dyes, hand-woven fabrics. As a fashion house, I deeply encourage work with limited inventories and work on a bespoke, custom-made model, wherein you will not be wasting on your resources. Even in terms of buying your embroidery raw materials, be thoughtful. Use zari, pure mirror, sucha badla, zardozi, instead of buying synthetic plastics and sequences which don't really mean anything to us. We have to consciously think of methods and resources which are in tune with our mission for a bright and a pure environment. What really bothers me is, as the slide very well says, that our craftsmanship is dying. In yesteryears, a carpenter's son became a carpenter. A plumber's son became a plumber. But now things have changed. Today, generations can't wait for the fruit. They want everything in advance. Modern-day opportunity comes with modern-day challenges as well. As you all know, any work which is a masterpiece of craftsmanship needs time, patience, and above all, love and passion. In the age of fast food and quick commerce, everyone wants a quick delivery, and no one wants to wait for 300 hours for handcrafting a sari. True craftsmanship is waiting to be discovered again. What do you think could be the solution to this? Our mission is to have a modern-day approach to revive and thrive our tradition and craftsmanship. We would like to see a future where future brides can wear their dreams without denting the environment. The dignity of labor and passion for craftsmanship is revived again. As you see, India is known for its culture and handcrafted couture. Let me just tell you a small story here. I love sitting with my artisans and discussing their families and how are their kids back home and how's everything going in their personal lives. There was one fine day we were expanding, and I was just telling one of them that, just call some karigars from your village. What I was taken aback was that, ma'am, is waqt karigar hi nahi hai. Kyun nahi hai? The reason, they want to join call centers. They want to join something which is not rich in our tradition and culture. They don't want to learn the skill of haath ka kaam. They are looked down upon. For a matter of fact, parents of girls don't want to get their daughters married to such artisans, which I felt I was just shocked. But I also realized that we jointly can make an effort by putting little things in place and giving this entire thing a thought. All I would like to say is, let's all jointly make India a Sone ki Chidiya again. Thank you so much.